It's the Chip and Lance Show with Chip and Lance.
Good news, Lance. I've said and or done something ridiculous. You will no doubt find annoying.
Dang it all, Chip. What'd you do now?
I made lunch for us with dill pickles instead of Jewish rye bread refrigerator pickles.
Oh, well, that's not as ridiculous as I was afraid of or as dangerous.
Well, I wouldn't do anything truly ridiculous, Lance. And as for dangerous, count me out. After all, how many good lessons have you instilled in me in this past few weeks?
Yeah, right. I guess that is right.
It's a good thing I learn from my mistakes and grow smarter and wiser every day.
Yeah, that makes you much easier to deal with.
Let's eat some lunch, old chum.
Lunch ain't the name of some badger you shot, right?
Lance, for shame. Municipal Code 473 precludes the discharge of firearms on city property, as your property is, which is why I've locked all my guns away.
You have?
It wouldn't do to have any accidents, Lance.
No, I mean, it really wouldn't, would it?
Let's have a nice, sane, normal lunch. Shall we, Lance?
Yes, sir, we certainly can. All my hard work is finally paid off. Chip, I couldn't be a happier man.
Lance! Wake up, Lance! You're having a bad dream!
What?
You're having a nightmare, Lance, but that's okay. I'll help you get out of your head. What do you think I need? A fish? A knife? A gun? Lance, I'll go get my gun. What do you think about that?
Dang it all, Chip. No, don't go get your gun.
Well, I have to say, Lance, I thought it was a bad idea, but that's why I wanted to ask.
Dang it all, Chip. You and your tomfool ideas.
Now, Lance, just because I woke you up out of a deep sleep and talked about shooting you with a gun, is that any reason to be grumpy?
Did you just say raisin?
Let's not haggle over nomenclature, Lance. So, you want me to go get that gun or not?
No, Chip, don't go get the gun.
Actually, Lance, I already have it with me.
You just keep that in your pajama holster thing, Chip.
Sure thing. Pants? That's my new name for you. Pants Redford. As in, Grumpy Pants Redford. I gotta write these down, Lance. Or Pants.
Well, now, Chip, let's think about this for a minute. If I was grumpy, why in tarnation do you suppose that would be?
Well, Lance, under ordinary circumstances, I'd be tempted to say it had to do with the mountain strain of being separated from the wife and children you love, combined with not being able to do the work that makes you feel like a valuable and productive member of society, while at the same time having to put up with the challenges of caring for your neurotic cousin.
No, actually, that about sums it up, Chip.
Well, Lance, who is the neurotic cousin? Erica ain't here.
Let's just leave that out of it for now, Chip. If I were grumpy for those reasons,
You said raisins.
Let's not argue about nomenclature, Chip. What do you think would be the best thing for you to do?
Give you a hug. Come here, Lance.
No, Chip, dang it all, I don't want no hugs. Anyway, I'm fine. All that stuff you said about me, look, it ain't all that bad. I don't have anything to complain about. Not really. I'm fine. But really, I'm fine.
Well, that's swell, Lance. And you're right. I shouldn't give you a hug. I should give you lots of hugs. Come here, Lance.
No, Chip, you got germs and stuff. Remember the virus?
Now, Lance, whatever germs we have, we've been sharing this whole time, so that's no argument.
Well, I guess that's true.
Because I've been using your toothbrush twice a day.
Dang it all, Chip, that's disgusting.
Well, you're telling me, Lance. You really should do a better job of minding your dental hygiene, and I recommend throwing out your toothbrush once every 3 or 4 years and getting a new one.
You don't use other people's toothbrushes, Chip.
I didn't use other people's toothbrushes, Lance. I used yours. We're friends. Besides, you wouldn't let me leave to go home and get mine, because of the Velveteen.
Quarantine, Chip. Quarantine.
All right, Lance. Now, how about that hug?
No, Chip.
If somebody loves somebody, they give them a hug.
Listen, Chip, your possums love you, right?
Well, of course they do.
They don't hug you, do they?
You want me to love like a possum loves, Lance?
Yeah, just love like a possum loves, Chip.
Okay. I just have to lick your face.
Just get back.
You're the one that asked me to do it, Lance. I don't want to do it.
No.
Why? Oh,
Chip,
why?
no.
Ah.
No, stop, Chip. You are not a possum.
Why am I licking your face like a possum?
You're not.
Well, it looks like I am.
Dang it all, Chip. You're not a possum any more than I'm a bunch of badgers.
Of course you ain't a bunch of badgers, Lance. That's so silly. I mean, you ain't. Right?
Chip, we've been through this before. I ain't a bunch of badgers.
Well, only reason I ask, Lance, is I hate badgers, all in the thrall of the dang badger lord, scourging the animal kingdom. If you was badgers, Lance, I'd have to pull my gun out of my pajama holster.
But I ain't badgers, Chip.
You ain't a bunch of badgers dressed up in a Lance outfit.
No, Chip, I ain't badgers.
Oh, that's just fine. Wait a second, Lance?
What's wrong, Chip?
It occurs to me yet again that I ain't badgers, quote unquote, is just what badgers would say, Lance.
I got things to do, Chip.
Let's start a badger insurrection, Lance.
Oh, for the love of Pete. Fine, Chip. Ask me something that badgers wouldn't know.
Good idea, Lance.
Just be quick, will you?
Let's see, something badgers wouldn't know. Is the universe finite, Lance?
I don't know that, Chip.
Better say your prayers, badgers.
I ain't badgers, Chip.
Badgers wouldn't say any prayers.
Oh, I ain't saying no prayers neither.
That makes you badgers.
I ain't badgers, Chip.
That's what badgers would say, Lance.
But I'm me, Chip.
Me badgers or me Lance,
Me Lance, Chip.
Who's Lance, Chip?
I'm Lance, Chip.
What does that make me, Lance?
You're Chip.
Well, Chip's going bang bang on the badgers.
You know what? No, I am not doing this right now.
What's wrong, Lance?
Chip, this is not okay. None of this is okay. I'm not badgers. I'm Lance, okay?
You know I get confused sometimes, Lance.
Well, let me unconfuse you, Chip. I am Lance. You are Chip. You are not possums. I am not badgers. We are just two miserable human beings trapped together for the foreseeable future.
Well, now you listen here, Lance. I may not know a lot about velveteens or Hanzo-Huzo-Washi, but I know one thing for sure.
And what's that, Chip?
Half the time people are scared or angry, what they really need is just a little bit of love. A little bit of love goes a long way, Lance. That goes for possums, too. Maybe even badgers, but I have my doubts. How about a hug, Lance?
Well, there's love, Chip, and then there's hugs, and the two ain't the same thing.
Love is a many-splendored thing.
Chip.
Love lifts us up where we belong. All you need is love.
Please don't start that again.
I was just quoting your favorite movie, Lance. Anyway, I know you're trying to be tough and strong and stuff. I know you're sad and angry and grumpy. I don't really know why you're grumpy, but I know you miss Laura and the kids and everything. I just think a little hug would go a long way. Plus, they're fun. I'll listen to everything you tell me to do.
That's debatable, Chip.
Well, I do, but just this once, Lance, will you do something I say instead of the other way around?
I guess so.
Come here, Lance. You need a big hug, and I do too. Lance, are you crying? Now, everything will be just fine. Everything will be just fine. Oh, now, that's all right. Lance, don't cry. I'll tell you a story.
I don't want a story, Chip.
A story about the time I read Goodnight Moon. Ah!
Dang it all, Chip.
I'm sorry about that, Lance. That's all right.